Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at noon.
Right now, police are looking for a man who broke into the Gamma Phi Beta sorority house at UND and was spotted taking pictures inside. Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Jordan Schreier. Authorities got the call around 5:30 this morning after the suspect got into the house, but he was gone by the time police got there. Now, authorities say that he was between 5'5" and 5'8" and was wearing all dark clothing. If you know anything about this, call law enforcement. We'll have more on this bizarre situation tonight on Valley News Live. And our winter weather has been felt across the Midwest today, or rough winter weather, I should say, has been felt across the Midwest today. Hector International Airport has canceled all 3 scheduled flights to Chicago this afternoon. A winter weather advisory has been put into place for most of northern Illinois and northwest Indiana. Also, a flight from Fargo to Denver has been delayed. Much of that is for rough weather in those parts of the countries, but here it's just cold, downright cold out there. It feels like mid-January. For what we can expect for the rest of our forecast today, let's check in with Storm Team meteorologist Lisa Green.
Good morning. Yes, they're on the very leading edge of this Arctic air that's taking over that we're in now. So we saw that snow this weekend. It's been pushing southward on the front end of that cold Arctic air moving in. So here in the valley, we're looking at some frigid conditions this morning. Several spots dropped down below the 0-degree mark. Cando and Langdon both at 2 below for your lows. Devil's Lake, Bemidji in the east, and Park Rapids as well dropped down to 1 below. Fargo, our low is 5. That's the coldest temperature so far this season, and 2 in Grand Forks. Our temperatures now, we've warmed, but it's not warm. It's 10 degrees in Fargo and in Grand Forks. A lot of us still in the single digits. So a frigid day. The wind is out of the northwest, gusting into the 20s, and that means wind chills still below 0 in the single digits to even double digits below. 5 below in Fargo and Grand Forks, your wind chill in those locations. And there's also some reports of a little bit of light snow falling underneath some of these clouds passing through in northwest Minnesota. We're down to 1.5 mile visibility in Detroit Lakes. Baudette, a 1/2 mile, a little lake effect snow downwind from Lake of the Woods. And same thing possible for the Red Lake area too. Not necessarily getting detected on the radar. It's pretty far from the radar site, but we are seeing reports of that. And you can see those clouds streaming through right now. There are places where we're getting plenty of sunshine too. And checking down to the southeast, you can see where that snow is now affecting St. Louis, Kansas City, back up to New York. There's some winter storm warnings downwind of some of the Great Lakes. And checking out your hourly planner, we're looking at temps maybe rising 4 more degrees in Fargo to a high of 14. It's going to be a cold one. We'll let you know if we warm up at all in the coming days this week in just a few minutes.
All right. Thank you, Lisa. A suspected murderer is now in custody after a shooting in Williston that targeted 2 19-year-olds. Sheriff's deputies say one man was killed and another is badly hurt after they were shot behind a grocery store last night. And we got word this morning from Williston police that they had arrested a 17-year-old boy for this murder and that more charges against him are likely. One man is dead after being hit by a car in Little Falls, Minnesota. The State Patrol says 59-year-old Keith Larson of Little Falls died when he walked onto Highway 10 last night around 6 and was hit by a pickup. The 27-year-old driver from Minneapolis and his passenger were not hurt. President Donald Trump made remarks during New York City's Veterans Day parade this morning. Mr. Trump honored the city's place in America's fight for freedom, beginning with the arrival of the British Armada in the New York harbor in 1776. He also praised World War II veterans in the audience, including those who fought in the grueling Battle of the Bulge. The president also honored the memory of an Army sergeant who refused to identify Jewish soldiers to Nazis in a prisoner of war camp. Mr. Trump then praised the performance of the Veterans Administration as a sign of his commitment to America's military men and women.
Just a few weeks ago, American Special Forces raided the ISIS compound and brought the world's #1 terrorist leader to justice. Thanks to American warriors, al-Baghdadi is dead. His second in charge is dead. We have our eyes on #3. His reign of terror is over, and our enemies are running very, very scared. Thank you.
The president remains in New York through tomorrow. He'll speak at the Economic Club of New York and then attend fundraisers. Now to what could be the most critical week yet in the impeachment investigation. For the first time, House Democrats are set to hold public hearings. It comes as the president is sending a firm message to Republicans. They need to step up their defense of him. Kristen Welker has more.
This morning, as Washington braces for the next critical phase of the impeachment inquiry, public hearings, President Trump on defense.
This is a witch hunt at the highest level.
It all gets underway Wednesday when current and former State Department officials testify on camera about their firsthand accounts, saying the president withheld military aid to get Ukraine to investigate the Bidens. Heading into this week, a sharp partisan divide over the way forward. Democrats aiming to keep the spotlight on the July 25th phone call between President Trump and the leader of Ukraine. And their key question, did the White House withhold military aid unless Ukraine did a political favor for the president?
This is a very simple, straightforward act. The president broke the law.
But Republicans are aiming to broaden the inquiry to include an investigation into the business dealings of Hunter Biden, who was on the board of a Ukrainian company while his father, Joe Biden, was vice president.
It's unfair to treat Trump under one standard and Joe Biden under a different standard.
Democrats say while some suggested Republican witnesses could be called, there's no reason to question Hunter Biden.
There are certainly questions, of course, and many people have asked them, but it's not relevant to this week's hearing.
It comes as Republicans struggle with their messaging. Louisiana Senator John Kennedy saying the president's intent matters.
If it can be demonstrated that the president asked for and had the requisite state of mind, that the president asked for an investigation of a political rival, that's over the line.
President Trump urging Republican allies not to back down, tweeting, "The call to the Ukrainian president was perfect. Republicans, don't be led into the fool's trap of saying it was not perfect but is not impeachable. No, it is much stronger than that. Nothing was done wrong." But outside of Washington, the president's base unfazed. Mr. Trump receiving a warm welcome over the weekend at the Alabama-LSU college football game.
The White House Chief of Staff, Mick Mulvaney, has asked a court to decide if he should appear before Congress after the White House told him not to comply with the subpoena from House Democrats.